Hello and welcome to this age-friendly awareness webinar. See things from my age. My name is Jenny Marshall, Executive Director for Community Programmes with AgeWell and Social Enterprise Lead for DOTS, a social enterprise in Northern Ireland dedicated to improving the lives of older people. Thank you for joining us today as we explore what it really means to think and act in an age-friendly way. This training has been funded by the Public Health Agency, and their continued support for age-friendly work across our communities helps make sessions like this possible. Over the next hour, I'd like to invite you to pause, reflect, and consider not only what age-friendly practice looks like in theory, but what it feels like in the lived experience of older people. People in our workplaces, in our services, and in our communities. This session is designed to help you understand the purpose of the age-friendly movement. Explore the World Health Organization's age-friendly principles. Have a look more closely at 4 of the key themes. Hear real experiences from older people. And reflect on your own practice within your organization, community group, or business. And identify practical, achievable steps you can take to embed age-friendly approaches. By the end of our time together, you'll have a clearer understanding of how small changes, both physical and cultural, can make a meaningful difference to older people's quality of life. The World Health Organization, or better known as WHO, is the United Nations Specialised Agency for Public Health. Established in 1948, its mission is to promote health, keep the world safe, and serve the vulnerable. The WHO works with governments, health systems, researchers, and community organisations across the globe. Its role is to provide leadership, set standards, share evidence-based practice, and support countries to improve the health and well-being of people at every stage in life. One of the areas the WHO places a great emphasis on is healthy ageing. As populations around the world live longer, the WHO encourages governments and communities to rethink how society supports its older people, not just in terms of healthcare, but in how people live, work, move, and participate in community life. This leads us to look at the term age-friendly. When we talk about an age-friendly approach, we're drawing on a framework developed by the WHO. Age-friendly doesn't mean older people only, and it's not simply about accessibility or healthcare. Instead, it's about designing environments, physical, social, and economic, that enable people to live healthy, active, meaningful lives as they age. At the heart of the age-friendly movement is a very simple principle. Aging is not a problem to be fixed. It's a natural part of life, and our communities should support people to thrive at every age. So as we move through our webinar, bear this in mind, that when we talk about making systems, services, or environments age-friendly, we are talking about creating communities that are inclusive, supportive, and empowering, not just for older people, but for everyone. So what does this mean in the context of Northern Ireland? In Northern Ireland, age-friendly refers to a coordinated, community-driven approach guided by the World Health Organization model. The aims to make cities, towns, and rural areas inclusive, accessible, and supportive for older people. Local councils in Northern Ireland, supported by the Public Health Agency, are actively implementing the WHO Age-Friendly Communities Framework to reduce barriers and improve well-being for older adults. Alongside this, age sector networks, community organisations, and the Age Friendly Network for Northern Ireland collaborate to ensure that older people's voices shape policies and services, helping to strengthen social inclusion and help Northern Ireland progress towards becoming a region where people can age well with dignity, independence, and connection. The age-friendly framework was developed by the World Health Organization to support communities in becoming great places to grow older. It centres around 8 interconnected domains that influence how older people experience daily life. In this session, I'll be introducing the 8 age-friendly domains as defined by the World Health Organization, with a brief explanation of each. First, outdoor spaces and buildings. This domain focuses on safe, accessible, and inclusive public spaces, like parks, pathways, and buildings that allow people of all ages to move around comfortably. But ask yourself, can everyone in your community easily access and enjoy these spaces? Second, transportation. Reliable and affordable transport options are essential, including accessible public transport and safe alternatives for those who no longer drive. So, how easy is it for people of all ages to get where they need to go in your community? Third, housing. Housing should be safe, affordable, and adaptable to changing needs, enabling people to remain independent in their own homes. But are our homes truly designed to support us as we age? Fourth, social participation. This domain promotes opportunities to engage in social, cultural, and recreational activities, helping to reduce isolation. Are there enough opportunities for everyone to stay socially connected in your community? Fifth, respect and social inclusion. Communities should foster respect, challenge ageism, and ensure people of all ages feel valued. Do people in your community feel seen, heard, and respected? Sixth, civic participation and employment. This domain focuses on opportunities for individuals to contribute through work, volunteering, and involvement in decision making. But are we making the most of the skills and experience across all ages? Seventh, communication and information. Access to clear, accessible information, both digital and non-digital, is essential for staying informed and connected. Is important information reaching everyone in a way they can understand? And finally, community support and health services. This domain ensures access to quality, affordable health and social care services that support well-being and independence. But can everyone access the care and support they need when they need it? For the purpose of today's session, we're going to focus on 4 domains that are buildings and outdoor spaces, respect and social inclusion, social participation, and communication and information. These domains are not just policy ideas. They represent the real environments and social structures that shape everyday living here in Northern Ireland. For our session today, we will be focusing on these domains. These principles sit at the heart of an age-friendly society, shaping both the physical world we move through and shaping how we treat and value one another. Now, as we move through our webinar, it's important that we understand why age-friendly communities are important to everyone in our community. The World Health Organization states, age-friendly environments benefit all community members by removing physical and social barriers and fostering inclusiveness. This not only benefits older people, it also improves accessibility, addresses gender inequities, and helps build the resilience of communities for emergencies. Let's begin with buildings and outdoor spaces, an area many of us encounter in our daily work, whether we manage buildings, deliver services, or organise community activities. This principle asks us to consider public realm that supports people to get out and about, that public buildings and spaces are accessible and welcoming, and that public realm meets everyone's needs. This means that we need to review how accessible is the environment around us? How easy is it for older people to get to, enter, and navigate the spaces we provide? Is the experience welcoming, or is it discouraging? Some practical considerations include clear signage that is easy to read, safe, even pathways, adequate lighting inside and out, easily accessible seating, doors that are simple to open, space to move around with walking aids or wheelchairs. These are fairly small adjustments, but collectively they can determine whether an older person feels confident and safe, or anxious and excluded. Let's take a moment to look at some data that frames the picture here in Northern Ireland and the wider picture in the UK. Around 50% of those aged 65 plus face problems getting outdoors, largely due to environmental barriers. 36% of older people are not satisfied with walking infrastructure. 48% of people aged 80 and over in England find it difficult to travel to their nearest supermarket. 22.1% of non-disabled people aged 75 and older report difficulties accessing services in their community. For older adults living with a disability, this number jumps to 58.8%. Now we've heard from the data, we'll move on to a short video featuring the lived experiences of older people. As you watch, consider what stands out for you, what surprises you, what might feel familiar, and what challenges are being highlighted.
Confident and comfortable in the community when I'm out and about is very much, I think, covered areas. Now, I'm not looking just every few yards down the street, but areas where you know you can go in a cold day, a wet day, and seating.
Well, when I'm out and about, I like to know there's plenty of space and good footpaths. Know that you could trip and fall. Now my walking's not just as good, and people need these young ones on scooters on footpaths just flying past you.
Good parking facilities convenient to the town centre. In the summer there's always a good display of flowers which adds to the general well-being. It's the sort of thing older people appreciate.
lighting. I think lighting is important to an older person because there's safety. There's safety in good lighting, and especially where you maybe have footpaths, you have unevenness in tiles or slates or whatever, and certainly in the evening, we're talking about better lighting, but in the evening you've got to be careful of so much trips and falls. When you're older, you can't afford trips and falls, but sadly they're inevitable.
On the negative side, possibly, I think there's a slight lack of toilet facilities. Town could do with a few more, spaced out.
Toilets. I think we all suffer from the use of toilets. I'm getting less and less. There's no place locally I can think of where you can now actually go to a public toilet. And if there was, you're probably a mile or so away from it.
If you go into a shop, they maybe have chairs sitting that you can have a rest. I'm getting older now, and that you can sit down. Say you're with friends, you can sit down and wait on them. You're not standing about.
Here are some practical, actionable tips for embedding age-friendly approaches in your setting, tailored to the buildings and outdoor spaces principle. Why not carry out a simple walk-through audit? Approach your building or space the way an older person might. Improve lighting, especially at entrances, corridors, and car parks. Add seating at reasonable intervals. This allows people to sit down and rest when they might need it. Use clear, contrasting signage that is easy to read, even for those with sight challenges. Maintain paths and remove trip hazards promptly. Ensure toilets are accessible and clearly signposted. Let's take a moment to think about your own organisation or community setting. What barriers might an older person face before they even reach you? What small changes could make a big difference? Hit pause on this video if you need a little more time to consider. Our second focus today is respect and social inclusion, a principle that gets to the heart of community life. This principle asks us to consider: is ageing portrayed in a way that is positive and realistic? Are older people valued? And are their basic rights ensured? This means that we need to think about how we treat older people, how we involve them in decision making, and how we value their contributions. Ageism, whether intentional or not, can creep into the language we use, the assumptions we make, or the roles that we assign. Being age-friendly means challenging stereotypes and creating spaces where older people feel respected, visible, listened to, included, and involved in decisions that affect them. It's also about respecting the diversity within older age. People aged 60, 70, 80, and 90 are not all the same, and their preferences, needs, and abilities can vary. Let's take a moment to look at some data that frames the picture here in Northern Ireland and across the UK. Almost 2/3 agreed that older people were viewed as a burden to society and taken less seriously as they have gotten older. Almost half of older people surveyed in Northern Ireland have experienced ageism. An overwhelming 95% agreed that older people have a lot to contribute to the workplace. Age discrimination is even more common amongst those who are struggling financially. People from Black, Asian, and minority ethnic backgrounds, and especially disabled people. Our second video will again feature individuals with lived experience, discussing moments where they felt included and the times they felt overlooked. As you watch, consider how the experiences shared reflect situations you may have seen in your work or community.
Being treated with respect actually helps me feel younger, because I'm me, but when I talk to other people, I feel part of their activity.
Well, it means a big lot. I mean, I treat people with respect and I expect to get that back again. And I feel that I'm appreciated and I enjoy doing it, and it's very good.
Treated with respect means a lot to the older person. In this community, I find people generally are very helpful. Do treat older people with respect?
People's kindness, their attitude to you is worth so much, because again, it helps you to feel relaxed. It helps you feel more or less at home type of thing.
If there's some way in which they can help you, even strangers, many of the people, the general public, are quite willing to do it, and that makes a person, an older person, feel comfortable. Respect certainly means a lot to the older generation in general.
Here are some practical, actionable tips for embedding age-friendly approaches in your setting, tailored to the respect and social inclusion principle. Make older people part of planning and decision-making. Use positive, non-patronising language. Offer a warm welcome. First impressions matter. Avoid assumptions about ability or interest. Promote intergenerational activities where possible. Celebrate contributions made by older volunteers, members, or service users. Let's take a moment to reflect. Have a think about your own environment. Are older people involved in planning or decision making? Are their strengths, skills, and experiences actively recognised? Do we inadvertently speak about older people rather than with them? Remember, you can hit pause in this video if you need a little more time to reflect. Our next focus is social participation, a core age-friendly domain that highlights the importance of connection, belonging, and involvement in community life. Social participation is about ensuring that older people have opportunities to engage, not only because it supports well-being, but because participation strengthens communities as a whole. This principle asks us to consider opportunities. For example, activities and events. Do they appeal to a range of older people? Are those opportunities accessible and inclusive? And does the infrastructure around support participation? And does it reflect the diversity of the community? This means that we need to think about how easy it is for older people to join in with events, groups, or programs. Whether activities are designed with, not just for, older people. Whether timing, cost, transport, and accessibility make participation possible. Being age-friendly in this domain means creating opportunities that feel welcoming, relevant, affordable, easy to get to, and suitable for a wide range of abilities. Social participation is not just nice to have, it's strongly linked to reducing loneliness, improving mental health, confidence, and a greater sense of purpose for older people. Let's connect this theme in with some key statistics that reflect older people's experiences. 2 in 5 people aged 65 plus feel lonely, often or occasionally. 65% feel invisible or overlooked. 1 in 3 people are more often lonely in Northern Ireland. Chronic loneliness affects 1 in 20 people in Northern Ireland. These figures remind us that participation is not simply about activity. It's about connection, identity, and a sense of belonging. This next video brings together the voices of older people who share their experiences, times when they have felt connected and included, and times when they struggled to stay involved. As you watch, consider what encouraged participation? What got in the way? What parallels can you see in your own organisation or community setting?
The sort of activities that I like to get involved in is where I'm involved with people. I like the volunteering opportunities because I get opportunities to speak to other volunteers, and I find out their likes and their dislikes, and that helps me along the road. At my age, and sometimes I don't see myself as all that old, but it certainly gives me a sense of purpose. I hate admitting it gets me out of bed, but it gives me a sense of purpose.
About a year ago, I don't know what the talk come about, but something about would I be interested in going out and meeting a wee lady maybe once a week, once a fortnight. And I found that very interesting, and I like helping people, and I like talking to people and kind of find what I can do, and it's very interesting, and I'm still doing it after years.
The use of green spaces seems to be becoming a bit restricted. New houses been built where there used to be trees and flowers and grass and what have you. Places where people can walk, whether with others or on their own. In general, the more outdoor activity the older generation can get, the better it creates a sense of well-being within themselves, and it's very important from the point of view of not feeling isolated, to get out into the community as much as possible, not only for the good of their own health, but for the social aspects of it as well.
Lastly, what I would like to say in terms of opportunity, and I'd love to make it clear, I want to give back to a community that has given me so much, and I feel that in volunteering and everything that's associated with volunteering allows me to do that.
Here are some practical steps you can take to embed age-friendly social participation in your organisation. Ask older people what types of activities they want. Don't just assume. Offer a mix of social, physical, learning and creative opportunities, so there is something for everyone. Make events affordable or free where possible. Consider the timing of events. Daytime activities may be easier to access. Ensure venues are accessible and easy to reach. And always provide a warm welcome and opportunities to meet new people. It's really important that we support volunteers of all ages, including our older volunteers. Let's take a moment to reflect. Are the activities that you offer accessible, appealing, and inclusive for all older people? What barriers, practical or emotional, might prevent an older person from taking part? How could you strengthen opportunities for connection and participation? Remember, you can hit pause if you need a little more time. Our final theme for today is communication and information, a key domain that determines whether people can access services, support, and community life. Communication is not just about sharing information. It's about ensuring that older people can understand, access, and act on the information they need in a way that suits them. This principle asks us to consider: is the community information we provide reliable and accessible? How can digital exclusion be minimised? And does the information we provide meet the needs of ageing populations? This means that we need to reflect on how older people receive information, whether communication we provide is jargon-free and easy to follow, whether digital options include alternatives for those who are offline, and how do we help people build confidence in using technology, if they choose to. Age-friendly communication respects different preferences and abilities. It promotes independence and ensures that no one is left behind. Let's look at some of the wider trends around communication and digital access. 50% of newspaper subscribers are aged 55 and older. 85% of those offline in the UK are aged 50 plus. More specifically, in Northern Ireland, 41% of people aged 65 plus have no digital skills. Only half of people aged 75 and over have all the basic digital skills needed to operate online, compared to an average for all adults of 84%. These figures remind us that communication is a doorway. If the doorway isn't accessible, people can't enter. In this next video, older people share their thoughts on communication. what helps them stay informed, and what makes them feel confused or excluded. As you watch, consider, is information in your organisation communicated in a way that is truly accessible? Are older people offered a choice in how they receive information?
Finding information and support depends largely on whether you're tech savvy or not. To those, maybe a quarter of the older generation who aren't technically minded, maybe don't have internet, that far too little of the information regarding events, community, other community organisations, charitable organisations, is available to those who know where to find it by technical means. To the rest, there's a gap in what information they can find.
I don't go online because I wouldn't know how to. So if I need to get more information, I'd get a phone number and ring somewhere.
Sometimes information at my age is hard to understand and hard to find. So when people's around you, there's always somebody will give you that information that you're looking for. You're speaking to a real person. It's not AI magic or Mr. Google.
The use of the local paper is some help. Word of mouth is also of help. Agewell itself is a very good source of information. It's well connected to many statutory bodies, health bodies, other charitable organisations, and for me, that would be a place I could turn to get what information I needed or wanted.
Step by step, that's what I like. Just keep it simple, keep it easy, plain English, no fancy words.
Here are some practical top tips to strengthen age-friendly communication. Use clear, plain language. Make printed information available in large, clear fonts. We would suggest a minimum of size 12, but preferably size 14. Avoid jargon, acronyms, and complex instructions. Try and offer information in multiple formats: print, phone, digital, and face-to-face. Support older people to build digital confidence through friendly, patient guidance. Check that websites are simple to navigate. And importantly, provide alternative options to digital, example, telephone numbers. Let's take a moment to reflect again. Do we offer more than one way for older people to receive information? Is our written and digital information clear and easy to understand? Or are we unintentionally excluding people who are not online? Remember, you can hit pause if you need a little more time to reflect. As we come to the end of our webinar, I would like to highlight a few opportunities for you to explore age-friendly principles in more depth. Here are some useful sources of guidance. The World Health Organization, the Public Health Agency, the Centre for Aging Better, the Age-Friendly Network for Northern Ireland, your local council, and in particular, their age-friendly officer. your local age sector network. Age NI. These resources can help you take the next steps in developing age-friendly environments, policies and programs. As we come to a close, let's take an opportunity for a final reflection. Ask yourself, what is one change I will commit to making in the immediate future? Thank you for taking part in today's See Things from My Age webinar. I hope the videos, reflections and examples have helped you view your organisation or community setting through a different lens, one grounded in empathy, respect and inclusion. By making our communities more age-friendly, we are not just improving life for older people, we are creating communities that support all of us at every stage in life. Thank you again for your time and for your commitment to building an age-friendly future here in Northern Ireland.